Well, the first place Astros are returning home to face the Chicago White Sox, a 6-game homestand where they're going to start 13 games in 13 days. We're going to talk about on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talk Astros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok, at Stros411 on X and on Facebook, and at Back to the Bullpen on X, on Instagram, on YouTube, on iHeartRadio. And you can find me at Houston Sports Download, a new show with Wheelhouse Media Company.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go ahead and make us your first listen. We're getting really, really close to 14,000 subscribers. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You'll make us very happy. And today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Monarch Money, take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So Brett and I, we've been doing this for combined 16 years. So Go ahead and make us your first listen, guys. But we have a lot to talk about today. I know ESPN, Brett, I don't know if you saw this, but they had a way too early prediction for who's going to be on the All-Star team, and 5 Astros made the team. So we're going to talk about that. Also, Lance McCullers gets the homestand off to a great start. And so what have they been doing good at home versus the road? Hopefully they do it on this homestand. And we're going to go and compare the Astros to the White Sox. I know it should be a easy series, but the Astros tend to, Brett, play down to their competition at times, but hopefully not right now, right?
Yeah, so a couple of things. We are literally 10 subscribers away from 14,000. Really? 13,990. So we need 10 of y'all. Just subscribe. Go create an account for your grandmother who doesn't belong in, or isn't on YouTube, and tell her if she loves the Astros to watch us anyway. So it doesn't matter. So look, Eric, this all Astros, this 5 Astros that they say would be elected to the All-Star game. I've had 4 this entire time. And I don't know, do you have that list?
Yes. I want you to go ahead and tell me who you think it is.
Who I think. Okay. Jeremy Pena, Isaac Paredes, Jake Myers, Josh Hader, Hunter Brown. Those are
no, you had an extra guy on there. It's not Jake Myers. That's on there. Just think, Brett, that we recognize what Jake Myers is doing in Houston, but if you look at the stats,
he's one of the okay, yeah, but he's one of the Cam Smith.
Okay, no. Okay, so if you're looking at WAR for center fielders, he's Julio Rodriguez has a 2.8 WAR. Rafaela with the Red Sox has a 2.2. Byron Buxton has a 1.8. Then you have Jake Myers with a 1.7. So, so he did not make the list. I know that what he's doing is great for him, but no, he did not make a list. The guy that made the list is a guy that may not be a Houston Astro next year.
Oh, Framber Valdez.
Yes.
Okay, but Jake Myers wasn't on that list, but Framber Valdez was. Okay, right. Well, yeah. Well, I was just thinking if it was 5 and included Jake, yes. And I thought about saying Framber, but I knew I had to say Hunter Brown first. But yeah, Framber Valdez, I don't see why not. And then obviously, Josh Hader's been perfect this year. How does he not get voted in by the coaches and players vote? It's not a fan vote. Look, we all know it's a popularity contest. We all know that Jeremy Pena, Jack Wilson, and Bobby Witt Jr. are the 3 best shortstop in the American League. Jeremy Pena edges out Jack Wilson on, I believe, OPS, but Jack Wilson has him on average. Jeremy Pena has Bobby Witt on home runs. I mean, there's all these different comparisons of different stats, but it's if Bobby Witt Jr.'s got the most recognized name, more than likely, it's like who's most likely to succeed in your high school. It was not the person that person probably didn't succeed. That was the most popular. That was the second most popular guy. The most popular person won Mr. Popularity of the year.
Well, Brett,
yes.
if baseball fans are doing their homework, if they're doing what they're supposed to do, the second most popular guy in this competition should be Jeremy Pena, because Aaron Judge, looking at the WAR, he has the highest WAR by far, but then the next highest guy is Jeremy Pena.
If he was in a Dodgers uniform or a Cubs uniform or a Red Sox uniform or a Yankees uniform, yeah, he would automatically. But then again, people probably don't forget, and they shouldn't, about Jeremy Pena's ALCS MVP in 22 and his World Series MVP in 22 and his Gold Glove. No one's ever done that in the same year, let alone got that in their entire career as a shortstop. So, look, Jeremy Pena is off the charts good this year. He is hitting all phases of the game. He's got amazing speed. We know what he can do with this glove on the field. I mean, to think that he replaced Carlos Correa, and Carlos Correa has spent a lot of time in Minnesota injured, where Jeremy Pena has done nothing but produce and become one of the veterans and one of the leaders of this team. You know, Eric, when we started this season out, I didn't think we would have this many All-Stars, but you know who I thought would be in the mix? I thought Alvarez would be in the mix. I thought Walker would be in the mix. I thought Yainer Diaz would be in the mix.
We all thought Jose Altuve would be in the mix.
We thought Jose Altuve would be in the mix.
Put him at second base. The Astros cheated, and they put him at second base.
No, I think the league doesn't. The league do that? I think the league does that.
No, apparently the team actually does it. They're the ones that decide where they place their players.
They probably ask Jose.
Like, well, he's a left fielder. We should put him in left field, but he's not going to be elected in left field. Let's put him as a second base. Hey, ChatGPT, can we do this? Yes, you can.
That's funny. Look, man, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you want to get 10 emails and you want to vote 10, 5 times 10, 50 times a day to try to push your guy in the All-Star game, you certainly have that right. We saw the Royals fans do that when they had their big push that one year, like 8 players in the All-Star game. But at the end of the day, the All-Star game should be like who the best player is. But then you're like, okay, if the metric is WAR, then Jeremy Pena should be the starting shortstop. But I'm afraid it's going to be Bobby Witt. Somebody on or I think MLB Network picked Jack Wilson, which, look, that kid's come on the scene and he just simply hits. And he's not a bad defender either. So you definitely have a lot of talent. And you know what? Gunnar Henderson's not even in that conversation this year, which is weird.
And Brett, I hate to say this, but Zach DeZenzo has a higher WAR right now, according to ESPN, than Jose Altuve. Zach DeZenzo has a 0.2.
Has a 0.2. Well, Jose Altuve is one of the worst defenders in the game right now. The other day, he had a ball that was a 95% catch probability, and he missed it. Right. Running on the base pass, this isn't his second basemanship, but it's his running the bases. He just gave up. I mean, his decline, Eric, has been kind of troubling to say the least. Him and Christian Walker's decline has been really bad.
Okay, Brett, I'm going to throw you a little curveball.
Oh, crap.
Let's say that somehow a 6 Astro makes the All-Star team. Who would the guy be? Here it comes. Here's the pitch. What are you going to do?
Lance McCullers Jr.?
That's your call?
Well, you said curveball, and I thought of Lance McCullers Jr. when you said that.
I was just meaning I'm throwing you a curveball, like just catching you off guard. If there was
a 6 Astro,
yeah.
I mean, could it be Lance McCullers Jr. comeback player of the year?
It could, but I don't think.
Who did you have in mind?
I don't know if I had anybody in mind.
I thought you gave this to me because you already had this thought
I just said, like, I was just thinking like a surprise guy, somebody totally out of left
I don't think
field.
the Astros are in that place to have a surprise guy. I mean, I will be shocked.
It'll be Brian King, somebody that you don't see coming.
Yeah, but here's why Brian King, or I don't think any relievers make it outside of Hader. You remember when Ryan Stanek was having his year, and he had the best year of like any relief pitcher? He didn't make the All-Star game.
Well, your guy, Jake Myers, I was expecting you to say Jake Myers.
Oh, Jake, I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to give me like messages, not so subliminal with throwing the curveball. I was like, oh, Lance McCullers curveball. Sorry. That's
what we do on the podcast. But guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. We'll go and continue this conversation and talk about Lance McCullers next on the Locked On Astros podcast.
This episode is brought to you by
Supply House.
Come on, man. What are you doing? Thank you. This episode is brought to you by Supply House. Supply House is an amazing place to go if you have HVAC, electrical, or plumbing needs. They have over 200,000 parts from 400 plus brands, and you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for the extra edge, you can try their free Trade Master program, which offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM. and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Go to Supply House. Use the promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether you're throwing curveballs or you're just watching Astros games, whatever you're doing, driving to work, just go and make us your first listen. We're 10 subscribers away from 14,000. That's very impressive, guys. Help us reach our goal. And Brett, with Father's Day coming up, there is a little giveaway that I'm participating in. Just go ahead and retweet something. I got one of these before, but I don't know if y'all can see this, but this is actually a coaster, and it's Alvarez's home run against the Phillies in the World Series. But they're giving away a free set of coasters. So if you want to go to my X profile and go and retweet that, you can go ahead and try to have a chance to win a free set of those coasters from whatever World Series game you want. So, Brett, I know that Lance McCullers, this is his first time he's actually pitched and had success since 2022. That's why I kind of brought that up. But I know that he is kind of with Ronel Blanco out. Spencer Arrighetti seen the light at the end of the tunnel, but he's kind of become the number 3 guy in the Astros rotation, and he's not disappointing recently. He's had one of the best ERAs on the Astros in the past 3 or 4 starts, and I think he really, really needs to get the Astros off to a great start.
Yeah, they need to, because with all the other injuries that have cropped up, and even on the offensive side, it's good to see someone come back like Lance McCullers, who's been a stellar part of the championship brand that the Astros have become, where we become the envy of the league or one of the most hated teams in the league. Lance McCullers was a part of that first World Series team. And for him to finally get back, you're like, yes, like there's that sense of relief. But kind of what's happened with Forrest Whitley is what I'm sure a lot of people thought was going to happen with Lance McCullers when he came back. Well, yeah, he's going to come back, right, and he's going to hurt, or he's going to pitch 2 games, and then he's going to need 2 weeks off. He just keeps going out there and mowing them down, and he's doing it with confidence. He's not overthrowing. He's staying within himself. And so many pitchers in this game throughout their careers, whenever they are off their game, whether it's a hitter or a pitcher, they simply try to do more than what they can do. We see Fromber when he gets off, he overthrows or he throws too hard. Then when he throws too hard, his pitches flatten out. Lance McCullers Jr., if he just continues to ride the wave that he's on, then he could literally get comeback player of the year. And I called that at the beginning of the season because of the kind of talent that I know he has. And so far, he's tapped into it. He just has to stay healthy and he has to stay focused. And it's a big boost, especially like you mentioned, Arrighetti's still being out. Yes, coming back, but then you're hoping that Javier, you're hoping that Garcia, but you've got guys now like Brennan Walter that take some of that burden off. You've got guys you can depend on outside of Arrighetti. I mean, outside of Lance McCullers, and that's nice.
Yeah, when Hunter Brown pitches, it's great. When Framber Valdez's pitches, that's great. But you've got to have somebody outside of top two, and that's what Lance McCullers is offering you right now. And so the Astros need to have, like you mentioned to start the show, they have 13 games in a row, and that's tough. That's going to challenge any rotation, especially a rotation that's as challenged as the Astros. Every team goes through the injuries, and so we're not going to cry and say woe is us. This is a situation that all the teams are going through. Look at what the Braves are going through. This was a team that a lot of people picked to go back to the playoffs, and they're dealing with their own injuries, but the Astros are doing what they're doing with a patchwork bullpen outside of the top three guys. And who would have thought that Brian Keane would be one of those top three guys? And they're doing so with a middle of the pack type offense. And it's just impressive what they're doing, Brett. And I think that we expected more power, but like we've been talking about, they're struggling on the road, but they're playing better at home. They have more offensive prowess at home. And so maybe even in Cleveland, I don't know if you remember those games, they had trouble scoring, even though they won
Well, yeah, I mean, we talked about this theme of scoring 3 runs or less in 34, 35 games. That, like you said, this team is not a power hitting team. This team without Jordan, with Christian Walker's like complete obliteration of his power numbers in 2025. This team's not going to out long ball another team. That's why situational hitting, 2-out doubles, the whole 2-out magic that you hear Blummer mention, producing runs when it matters. I don't mind 2-out doubles. I don't mind doubles and singles if they're scoring runs, right? But at the end of the day, when you get to these deeper runs into the playoffs, you're going to face teams that do hit the long balls, and there's going to come a time where that number is going to be called. And the question is, when that number is called, will they be able to produce that? But Eric, they've literally had this schedule where they've had the fewest games versus teams under 500. The fewest games. Yes. The fewest games versus teams under 500, meaning they've had the toughest schedule in major leagues and they're in first place. So that is a trend that I want to see continue, because I think our schedule only gets easier from here on out.
Well, they're playing a lot of AL Central. Teams are doing pretty good this year. I know the White Sox are not one of those teams, but they played well against the Guardians. They played well against, we'll see what they do against the Twins. The Twins are kind of on the same level as the Astros right now, but the Astros are playing a little bit better baseball. The Twins went on this super long winning streak. I think they reached 10 to 12 games or something like that a couple of weeks ago, but the Astros are, they also started the year, Brett, to go off your point, they faced a lot of National League competition and a lot of good teams from the National League. So they faced a lot of great teams. So yes, we keep on saying this team is no good. This team doesn't have what it takes, but throughout all the struggles they've had this year, they've stayed around 500. They won, they lost. They won, they lost. Now they're currently, 7 games above 500, I believe? Yeah, 7 games above 500. And this is they're tied for the best record this year. So if the Astros just continue to win little by little and they just got to play better like they did on the road. Like this last road trip, that was a much better sign of things to come. So, Brett, I think next we need to compare. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but the White Sox are not a great team. So we're going to go and compare the stats of the two teams, and we're also going to look at how the Astros compare on the road versus at home. So, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
Hey, everybody's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Monarch Money has you covered. Are you tired of going around wondering where the next bill is going to come out of your account, how much you spent on that Astros game, how much you spent on that New Jersey? Well, Monarch Money is here to help you. And with the promo code Locked On MLB, you'll get 50% off your first year. Whether it's online shopping or entertainment, Monarch Money is your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control of your finances. You hear that? Control. Put that in all caps. Put that in the back of your brain. And remember that at the end when I give you the promo code. It isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You track all your accounts, investments, and spending all in one place. Stop just managing your money and start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances. Managing money with your partner is also smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, stay on the same page without the stress. Hey, without the stress, without the arguing, more date nights, right? And within your budget. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. So the White Sox, they come in with a great record of, trying to find it, they have a great record of 22-44. They are 20.5 games behind in the AL Central. They have a negative 51 run differential. And a lot of people will be like, great, this is an easy win. Well, the Astros sometimes have a tendency, well, in the past, I think they're doing better at it this year, of playing down to the competition. But the White Sox have also kind of played good against the Astros in the past. But away from wherever they play, the White Sox play, they are 6-26. So at least at home, they're kind of close to 500 at 16-18. But the Astros, on the other hand, they are 22-12 at home and 14-17 on the road. So, Brett, with just that information right there, the Astros are at home, the White Sox on the road. So it should be a good series for the Astros, right?
Yeah, I mean, you should sweep the White Sox. I agree with Panda there, that we should sweep the White Sox. I know the White Sox split 4 games with Detroit. I know they won 2 of 3 in their last series versus the Royals. But it's all about what are you doing for me lately? And lately the Houston Astros have been absolutely clutch at home. It's, going to home games isn't a guaranteed win for Astros fans, even in these strong years. It has baffled me. I can't tell you how many people I talked to over the last couple seasons, like husbands that have told me their wives literally stopped going in 23, because they thought that it was them that was making the Astros lose, because every time they went to a game, the Astros would lose. So they stopped going to the games. I'm like, no, tell your wife that no matter who goes, they can't win a home game. And you love to see that flip, and you love to see that flip for an offense that is really the leanest offense that we've seen in an Astros uniform in recent memory. I can't tell you. It's a little odd that we're not hitting the home runs like we used to. Now, I get it. I don't know if you heard, but Dana Brown did say on Houston Sports Radio this weekend that by the end of the week, Yordan Alvarez should be able to pick up a bat. Literally.
And do what? Swat flies?
No. Pick up a bat. That's all he said. He didn't say swing. He said pick up
Direct
a bat.
orchestra?
So I don't know what Jordan is doing. Stop, Eric, stop. Eric's off the rails tonight. But and I don't even know if that's the truth. I don't even know if he's being honest with us. I'm sorry. But gosh, can you imagine if we had the big fella in there? Can you imagine if Christian Walker would get his head out of his batting rear end and hit the freaking ball? You know? And can Joe Espada, I got a vent here. Can Joe Espada move Christian Walker down? If Coach Altuve is willing to say, I'm going to third, can't Coach Christian Walker go to Espada and say, dude, stop putting me in the 4 hole. I suck right now. Like, put me in the 8 hole. I don't care. But we got to move Christian Walker down. We got to get Jake Myers up. I think you get Jake Myers, you get Pena, you get Isaac Paredes, you get those guys in the top 3. Why not? I mean, heck, Jacob Melton, get that kid on fire, put him towards the top of the lineup with that speed. You know, we need to do something offensively, but I like the fact that the White Sox are coming in. Now, it's not a guarantee because it's a major league team, but I think the Astros have proven that they can beat good teams or bad teams this year.
So I agree that you never sleep on any major league team, not like the White Sox. Even if the Rockies came to town, you still would play good baseball against them. But the Astros at home have been playing great baseball. If you're looking at what they've done, they played 34 games at home. They've played 31 away. They have a 275 batting average away. They have a 224. Sorry, take that back. A 275 batting average at home. I'm so used to saying away from all the previous years, but at home, 275, away, 224. At home, their OPS is 111. Their OPS plus, sorry, and their away, it's 83. And if you're looking at their total OPS, just their team OPS or whatever, it's 761 at home and 639 away. And if you're looking at home runs, you got 35 at home, 30 away, and runs, there's a big differential. 151 at home and 110 at away from Dyken Park.
Well, but I think, I mean, look, you just have to look at what the Astros have versus what the White Sox have. The Astros have better pitching. The Astros have a better bullpen. The Astros, when they're hitting in critical situations, I mean, they got Isaac Paredes in the Crawford boxes. They got Jeremy Pena in the Crawford boxes. Every right-handed batter's got the friendly confines of Dyken Park. So I think the Astros clearly take care of business because after the White Sox, you have, I believe, the Twins come into town. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Well, Carlos Correa, old C4 himself, Mr. Prada. Remember when he compared himself to Prada?
Yes. So, Brett, you mentioned the bullpen. The Astros have the 9th best ERA in terms of their bullpen with the 3.39. I think you mentioned it that they have the best bullpen strikeouts per 9 inning with a 10.28. Their Ks per walk, they have the 5th best at 2.90. So that's pretty good. If you're looking at the White Sox, they have the 23rd best ERA at 4.40 bullpen. And then their strikeouts are way down at 8.34 per 9 innings.
So here's the deal. So there was someone who put out, Brooksgate put out stat categories that every team leads in the entire league. The Astros lead in most strikeouts for pitchers, 623 overall. The White Sox leading statistic is they allow the fewest sacrifice bunts. That's what kind of a season they're having. The Rockies have the most triples in 19. This is an interesting list. Get this, Pittsburgh. This is how bad it is in Pittsburgh. The best record on Wednesdays.
Well, I know that a certain person keeps on calling for the Astros to trade for Luis Roberts. He has 21 stolen bases this year, 5 homers, 24 RBIs, is batting 177 with a OPS of 546.
No, We don't need another underperforming high potential guy. No, we don't need that. Stop. Just come on, man. But hey, we haven't really talked about Jacob Melton, Eric, a whole lot. This kid is really, I think, making his mark on this team. And I really hope we see a lot more Jacob Melton out there in the field these next 6 games at home, because he deserves to be in front of that home crowd. I hope he gets his first home run too while he's at home.
Well, I think that with him playing well, Melton's making it hard for Espada to put Altuve back in left field. You have enough people. You have Cam Smith, you have Jake Myers. Now you have Jacob Melton, who can play the outfield.
Yeah.
So what he gives them is options, and then you can put Altuve while Alvarez is on the IL. You could put him either at DH or you can put him at second base, where he's no slouch. He's been playing it for many years. So you don't have to put him in left field if you don't have to. He hasn't embarrassed himself. He has not been a superstar out there, but he has not embarrassed himself overall. But the Astros definitely, they have the edge on all aspects. The White Sox batting overall is in the bottom third. When I say bottom third, I mean bottom 3 worst offensive in baseball. So the Astros just need to go out there and get it done. Don't play down to the competition. And Lance McCullers needs to go out there and pitch well. He's going to be going against somebody who is actually having a pretty good season in Smith. So he's only starter.
Look, I think it'll be fun to have the Astros back. I know when it comes to the weekend, it's Father's Day weekend coming up. And they're going to have some really cool Jeremy Pena, the bobblehead. He's wearing a shirt, like this beach shirt. Sorry. And that shirt is the same pattern that he's wearing on the bobblehead that they're giving away. And then it's the same pattern that's on the under brim of the straw hat. So like every giveaway has the same pattern this weekend. So that'll be cool. If y'all get a chance to go out to the ballpark, I would highly recommend taking your dad or your grandfather or someone who loves baseball that's a dad to an Astros game. I unfortunately won't be able to go because, well, I'll be working Friday and Saturday. Sunday, we're going to Top Golf, me and my dad, my son. So that'll be fun this weekend.
Yeah, I heard that the Pena bobblehead is only for women. Is that true?
Oh, is it?
No,
because of the abs. Well, you would think it'd be like ladies' night because it is kind of, but it's actually kind of funny. But he is wearing the same shirt that they're giving away, which I thought was a real keen thing. So whoever did that on their promotions department, kudos to you.
Oh, guys, that's all we got for this edition of Locked On Astros podcast. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check us out. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. We are the Locked On Astros podcast. Hopefully, we'll be talking tomorrow about an Astros victory, going on to taking care of business against the White Sox. We will see you later.
Go Stros!
No words?